Hey, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, and today I am incredibly excited because we finally have more Monster Hunter World Iceborne information. Capcom just dropped a brand new trailer, and during their live stream they also showed us some gameplay from Iceborne in the new area, new monsters, new moves, loads of new stuff. There is a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm going to break down the information in a variety of different videos. In this video, we're going to break down the trailer, because there's lots of cool stuff shown in that. I will then do a follow-up video where I break down the gameplay from the stream. I'll then do a follow-up video after that to talk about the stuff for Monster Hunter World, the actual kind of upcoming content, and I'm sure there'll be some more videos over the weekend too. So basically, sit back, relax, stay tuned, because if you want to know more about Iceborne, then this is the place to be. Of course, don't forget you can also turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our future uploads. But let's not waste any time, let's start by diving into this trailer, because it's really, really cool. The first thing we see is a flock of Legiana flying, migrating what I would assume to this new land. We see a cutscene with the handler speaking to the hunter, and they then get a very quick glimpse at the new flagship monster. Now I'll speak a little bit more about that a little bit later, but the name for this new flagship monster is Velkhana. It's an elder dragon, it does ice attacks as well as other things like that, but it looks pretty cool. However, it's only seen in passing in the intro, so if we then skip forward, we get a look at the brand new locale, and honestly, this is something I am so incredibly excited about. In any game, whether it be Monster Hunter, whether it be RPGs, MMOs, anything like that, I always love snowy areas. And in previous Monster Hunter games, snowy areas were my favourite, and I am so happy to see one in World, and honestly, it looks fantastic. It is so detailed, so vast, and there's quite a lot of stuff to talk about here. First things first, it's called the Hoarfrost region. That is the name for it. That was confirmed during the actual follow-up live stream. We get a look at some returning endemic life. We see the Popos, which is really awesome to see them back. If you guys are new in Monster Hunter World, then Popos were really cool. They were in previous Monster Hunter games. They were often ones that typically got eaten and destroyed by monsters, but hey, they were still they have a special place in my heart. We also then get a look at the new wing drakes. These are the ones that you can actually use to fly around the area, and they are called the Kortos. We also get a look at the new little dung beetles, which are called the rime beetles, and they actually kind of roll snow instead of dung. And if you break that dung, you actually get a crystal burst out of it, which is kind of useful. We obviously see the hunter in some new armor there, some new, what I assume is G-rank gear, also with a slightly upgraded greatsword with some cool bone spikes coming out of it. We see the Palico with some new gear, with a rather interesting weapon. And also, just want to take a moment to notice that when the hunters are walking around, when anything moves throughout the snow, they actually leave trails behind them, and this is going to be so awesome to see. I mean, obviously when you're trudging through the snow, that's crazy, but when you think about this in the heat of battle, when you're rolling through the snow, when your Palico's charging through the snow, when monsters are charging through the snow, it's going to make for some pretty amazing gameplay. So that is very cool. And as mentioned, the actual region itself is pretty vast. In fact, they actually said during the stream that when this fully opens up, once you've progressed through the campaign and unlocked all the areas, this will be the biggest region that they've made. If we then fast forward a little bit more, we get a look at one of the new monsters. This is a brand new monster in Iceborne. It is called Bambaro, and this, I'm pretty sure, is the monster where the Viking armor comes from. You know, the one that I said in the original trailer, way back when they released the first Iceborne trailer, I was like, I want the armor because it basically looks like a Viking, it has a beard, has horns. I'm pretty sure I'd be willing to bet all my Zenny and all my rarest weapons that this is probably the monster for that Viking armor. But he's incredibly cool. I'll speak more about Bambaro in an upcoming video when we kind of break down the gameplay, but he's a brute wyvern. He's a monster you encounter quite early on in the campaign, so in the grand scheme of things, he's not necessarily going to be the most challenging. However, I'm going to say right now, if he is the one that leads to the Viking armor, I don't even care if his armor is like starter gear. I am going to wear it as long as I possibly can, because it's going to look awesome. Anyway, moving on from there, we're then going to look at a second new monster, which is Beotodus, which is basically the ice version of Duratados. I'm not going to lie, when I first saw that fin, I was like, did they do it? Did they bring back Zamtrios? And then they debated me. But you know what? Either way, an ice Duratados, pretty cool still. He is, of course, another new monster. And again, you can, of course, see all the awesome snow tracks whenever the monsters are moving around. However, what I now want to do is turn your attention to something incredibly awesome. And this right here is the Clutch Claw. Now, if we slow this down, take a look at the Hunter's Slinger. Notice how it folds out and then it goes and latches onto the monster. They said during the gameplay reveal that you can now effectively use the Slinger as a claw. It's called the Clutch Claw, and you can grapple onto monsters. And as you can see from here, the longsword user then goes into an attack, a new attack by the way, and slams down the sword, cutting the monster, and yo, that looks incredible. However, it doesn't just extend the claw. They've also changed it so that every single weapon now can use the slinger with your weapon drawn. Previously, that was only the sword and shield, but now every single weapon can ready and use the slinger mid-combo, which means for certain weapons, you can actually use it mid-combo. So as you can see in this situation, the greatsword actually fires out a sonic bomb, which is then used to bring the Beartodus out of the ice, and of course it can then go off and it can then ready up a special attack. There's actually a lot more you can do with that. The greatsword, for example, can actually fire off a more powerful slinger shot, and again we'll speak more about that when we actually go over the gameplay a little bit later. Jumping forward to the next scene, we get a look at another new armor set on a female hunter. This looks really, really cool. We also have a new sword and shield as well. And you can see here, with the sword and shield, this time around using the clutch claw to get close and fire off the slinger bombs. One of the other cool things you can do is you can unload all your slinger ammo at once to effectively stun and knock back a monster. So it's a great way to push them back. So that is pretty cool. We also get a look at what appears to be a G rank version or a master rank version of the Tsuchiyaku armor, because you can see that iconic blue color tone. We can see what I like to call the moustache that is pointing out either side of it. It looks potentially like that could be the new master rank version of that armor, so that's kind of cool. We also see a new charge blade, and Hunter there appears to be wearing, again, what I would assume is master rank Kuruyaku gear, because again, that's kind of got that same aesthetic to it, the same sort of color, but admittedly a slightly different form factor to what we're used to. Then the trailer jumps forward into some more cutscenes, tells you a little bit more about the area, and then it's finally confirmed. If you guys didn't believe it before, when I said that the eyes at the end of the original trailer were Naga Cougar, I know there were some people out there that are like, hey, you don't know it for sure, and yeah, admittedly we didn't, but that's a pretty iconic thing. If you've been playing since Freedom Unite, you'll know that those eyes are unmistakably Naga Cougar, and now we have confirmation. He is back in World. It's actually pretty cool to see that he's actually roaming around the ancient forest, so of course, you know, we won't just be going to this new ice area and then never going back to the old areas again. There will of course be plenty of things to do in the previous areas, and we also see the hunter here wearing that Viking looking gear with a gun lance, obviously also from the same monster with the same aesthetic, and Naga Cougar of course demonstrating some of its typical swift attacks, the tail spikes, all that good stuff. They did mention during the live stream that they've added in some new stuff, for example Turf Wars, so seeing him fighting with Rathalos is going to be pretty awesome, but they also said they've kind of spiced him up a little bit so that he matches the world flair. Then jumping forward again, we get a look into another cutscene, we see the icy area, and then we get another shot of the flagship monster, Velkhana. This is, again, as a reminder, an Elder Dragon. They're not going to speak too much about it right now. They said they'll, of course, speak more about it in, later videos, later updates and whatnot, but for the time being, that's a look at the new flagship monster. Then, after the title screen, there's the typical kind of post-credit sequence, shall we say, and there appears to be a new Palico gadget, because the hunter here clearly gets hit, clearly dies, but instead of getting picked up and taken back with a cart, the Palico jumps out, throws down what looks like a Vigor Wasp, but clearly maybe like a Reviver Wasp, and it appears to bring you back from the dead. I assume that's how it works, so I guess for those of you kind of diving into Master Rank for the first time, if you guys have never played like a G Rank expansion before, then invariably your first few quests are, you're going to get hit pretty hard because your gear is obviously not up to scratch. So the fact that maybe you've got a new tool that could maybe help revive you could be kind of cool. I appreciate that probably only be used once, here or there, but either way, that's rather interesting. Then of course, moving on from there, we get the release date, which is incredibly exciting, the 6th of September. Now this is the release date for consoles, but they did say that the Steam version will be launching in winter, so they are still hoping for like this year. It'll probably just be a little bit later. However, it's not just a date reveal. There is also another little teaser here. There is a stomping sound followed by a roar, and you guys know me, one of my favorite monsters is Tigrex, and let me tell you, as a Tigrex fanboy, that is unmistakably a Tigrex roar. That, my boys, is basically the hint at another returning monster. If that is not Tigrex, I will eat my hat, I will donate my Zenny, I will delete my single attack gem, whatever it is, but that, my dudes, is Tigrex. Also, following on from there, they then announced that, of course, you can buy this as a physical version, and there'll be a couple of different versions as well. There will also be a pre-order bonus, so if you pre-order the game in any capacity, you get a layered armor set of the Yukumo armor, which is really cool, I always like that one, and if you get the digital deluxe version, there's also a Silver Knight layered armor set, as well as some gestures, some stickers, face paint, hairstyle, and a decor set, which is interesting, because we haven't had them before, and they refer to it as for room customization. Now in rooms up until this point, we've been able to put pets in, but we've never had a use for decor, so that makes it sound like there might well be something new for rooms as well. Pretty interesting, but for the time being, that's pretty much it. That is a complete breakdown of the brand new trailer. That is what we have on Iceborne so far. As mentioned, there is more stuff to go over. There was also some gameplay shown during the live stream, which I'll be breaking down in a separate video. So if by the time this video is up, it's also live, I'll link it down below. Otherwise, check it on the channel. Point is, stay tuned, because over the weekend, there'll be lots of Iceborne information coming your way. So hold on to your hats. I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and also click on the little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss my next upload. Also, don't forget, you can check out 269 and Paradise Central streaming over on Twitch 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. Be sure to drop by and get involved. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.